up, Tucson, Arizona? The Call Me Crazy Show. Believe it or not, this is episode 181. Earlier today, Marty of Public Access and the Internet Television was showing me an episode filmed almost just 10 years ago. And which brings up the subject that come next March 18th, it will be the 10-year anniversary of the Call Me Crazy Show. Which means we really got to plan something big. I have no idea what I want to plan yet. We have certain ideas that we're switching around here in the boardroom, or should I say in the war room. But I want to come up with something very, I don't want to say it's a finale show because the show will go on. I okay want to say it's the, how about season premiere? You know, the 10-year anniversary will be the 10-year, it will be the season premiere of Call Me Crazy. And you know, kind of think of it, there might be a drastic change and a name change and the title maybe. Yes, maybe. Who knows? Because it's been the Call Me Crazy Show for 10 years. And if I think it's about time to change the title of the show, then fuck it. I might get changed the title of the show. But I think Crazy might be in there somewhere, and I think Call might be in there somewhere, and I think Me will be in there somewhere, and I think the word The will be in there somewhere. But no, if you have any idea for my new name for the Call Me Crazy Show, let me know. It can be called Call Me Loco, it could be called Call Me Nutty, Call Me Insane, you can call me anything, pretty much. But on the subject of the 10-year anniversary, I just feel it's coming up and creeping along the timeline, and I'm going to get pretty much shit my pants when it comes out to be March 18, 2008, because it'll be 10 years to the day that Call Me Crazy aired. And it's hard to believe that we've been doing this, and I've been hosting this show for 10 unbelievable, long, grueling, full of suffering and despair years of trying to get the show off the air. And you know what, it's paid off because I have had so many people come up to me just because I've been Call Me Crazy that I guess it'll never stop. But getting off the subject of the 10-year anniversary, I want to talk about one thing that's really important, that can be important for the next year. That's going to be important for the next year. That's going to be important for the next year is the fact that the presidential campaign is well underway. And I'm going to say, folks, I am officially endorsing Hillary Clinton for the Democratic Party. Because, you know, I hope she wins, because wouldn't it be great, folks, if a woman president became president, a female became president of the United States. I think it would be one of the greatest things the country could ever do, only because it's adding a monkey wrench into the whole infrastructure on how we do things in the U.S. And you know, there are going to be all the hardcore Republican hardliners up in Washington like, oh no, goddamn pussy vagina bitch is going to be running this country. Fuck that shit, it ain't going to happen in my watch. And that's the Republican hardliner thinking like that. But you know what? It doesn't matter if you have a dick or a vagina. If you can run the country, you can run the country. And see what I'm thinking right now. I don't want John McCain, you know, of course he's a senator from Arizona, but he hasn't done jack shit for me. He never has, he never will. So what the fuck? I don't want to vote for him, I never will, because he gets, what the word that he described himself, John McCain, he said, I'm a Reagan disciple. You might have well just hung yourself and said, you know, I'm Ronald Reagan. So John McCain, you don't want to be voting for him because he gets back no-nos. And you also don't want to be voting for Rudy Giuliani. Because you know why? Because he was the mayor of New York. And some say he took some money from some dirty cops. we don't even know that's true, but if it is, so fuck him. But you know, you gotta be a little shady if you're gonna be mayor of New York. Sure, he was mayor of New York when 9/11 happened. You remember, you see that video where he's running down the street and you know, there's all the fucking white powder on his bald head and he's running around and he had this dazed and confused look on his face like there's people dying. But you know, it makes us, people made it seem out to be like he's like lifting bodies out of the rubble. He wasn't. He was running alongside everybody else with that white powder on his head, you know? And if Rudy Giuliani became president, the only thing he'd be good for, God forbid there's another 9/11 attack on this country, you see Rudy Giuliani running the street with that white powder on his head, and you know, at that dazed and confused look, and people will be saying he's a hero once again. You know, forget the fact that he don't talk to his family, and his real family don't want to talk to him. You know, he wants to run the country, but his immediate family want nothing to do with him. That makes you wonder, why do they not want to talk to their own father and husband and uncle? Been married several times, had several affairs, and yet he wants to run the country and his kids don't want to talk to him. Thanks, but no thanks, Rudy Giuliani. Go back to running in the street with the white powder on your bald, round head. But, and who else is running? Romney. There's another idiot going for the presidential ticket. He won't win. And who else? We can't forget Barack Obama. People are saying he's a new face of the new change in the political system. Great, if he can get up there, he can do it. I don't give a fuck, let him. If he wins, fine. I don't want nobody worse than him being in office. But to tell the truth, I'd rather have Hillary Clinton. Then that way Bill Clinton can be in the office and he'll have the historical significance of being the first gentleman of the White House ever. And here's the thing, he said, if my wife was elected president, I would not interfere in any of her policies. Imagine that. That's the greatest thing. Then Hillary Clinton said that she will send Bill Clinton on a goodwill trip to all over the country, all over the world, and say he will apologize for all the action the Bush administration had done for the past 8 years. Pretty much, it's basically if Hillary comes in and wins the presidential race and she becomes president in 2009, she can go through the White House and just throw everything that's in there and throw it out. Everything that Bush associated that in that White House, she'd be like, get that shit out of here. You know, she's gonna get clean up house. That what needs to be done. The White House needs to be cleaned up house. It's been too corrupted for 8 years. It's time to change. And you know, and honestly, I firmly believe that the Clinton family generally feel for the American people, whereas the Bush family pretty much care for themselves and their wealthy, healthy friends. So that's my take on the presidential nomination. So I hope Hillary Clinton wins. I hope she gets up there, and you know, I can want to see the looks on everyone's faces, and especially the hardcore Republican hardliners, like, oh my God, they're like, Hillary Clinton won, she's the president. You know, they're gonna be, what are the people gonna be doing with those all those hardcore Republican politicians up in Washington? What are they gonna do? Are they gonna be like? Are they gonna quit? What's she gonna say? I'm the first female president, and I'm gonna make the first law to say tampons are free for the rest of the world. You know, I hope she don't come up with something stupid like that. Maybe she'll say, you know what, there might be universal health care for everyone in the U.S. Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be great? Because we all remember what happened a couple months ago. The Bush administration cut off funding for almost 10 or 11 million under poverty kids from health insurance. And he said that was a compassionate thing to do, to deny them health insurance. He said, I'm being compassionate for the American people by saving American taxpaying dollar. But yeah, at the expense of cutting insurance for 10 or 11 million kids who don't have health insurance, who do need the health insurance. So, George W. Bush, I can't wait for the first 2 weeks of January 09. I guess hope you don't, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess hope you don't convince Dick Cheney to run for president at the end of next year or in the beginning of the summer next year, because that would suck very bad. What do you think if Dick Cheney decides to run for president? Oh God, could you imagine Dick Cheney president for the next 4 years? Oh, that sounds worse than Bush. I guess hope that won't happen. And what else I wanted to talk about? There's one thing I want to talk about that Marty said not to really talk about. Not what about the 10-year anniversary thing, but today we saw the first episode of Call Me Crazy because we're doing research for our 10-year anniversary. And guess what, folks? On that episode in March 1998, I said, you know what? Why don't we go over there to Baghdad and assassinate Saddam Hussein. And you know what? We didn't until almost 10 years later. Now it's 2007. And I'm going bye-bye.
Going bye-bye.
Going bye-bye. No, but the reason we went off the air for a second, when the presidential race, imagine saying the Obama administration declared a veto the bill today. It's like what Matt TV said, take the B off of Obama and put the S as Osama. So I know certain people who are voting for other people other than Barack Obama, only because it rhymes with Osama. What else I wanted to talk about? Oh yeah, a couple days ago, this 19, 20-year-old kid, I guess he got fired from working at a McDonald's, and then his girlfriend broke up with him, and then I guess he had a couple of guns, I guess. And he went to this Omaha shopping mall in Nebraska. And you know what? He said, fuck everybody and fuck everything else. And he went on a killing spree. And he killed 8 people at a shopping mall. I guess from the 3rd floor balcony, he opened fire. Pretty much just pointing down, taking customers out. Were Christmas shopping. And he ended up taking 8 people out. Fatally shooting every victim. And then he turned the gun on himself. And how was your Christmas shopping? What else happened? On a good note, there was this old lady, I guess she was a multimillionaire, and I'm not really sure what city this took place in. But apparently she was a very wealthy lady. And I guess she's been going for years and years, I guess every day, to a certain restaurant in her city, where it got to a point where she considered the family who ran the restaurant as if they were her own family. And the wealthy lady passed on, and she left the will. And the will said that she left $20 million to the other people who worked at the restaurant. So imagine that. Yeah, say you're a cook at a restaurant and you go to work one day and someone says, hey, here's a $2 million check. You know what I do? I do what I've been saying for years I would do. I build a chocolate factory in Rio Nuevo. Which brings me on the subject of Rio Nuevo. And that March 18, 1998 video, Call Me Crazy episode, I mentioned, I don't talk about Real Nuevo because that's not around yet. It's not until 1999 that the word Real Nuevo was concocted, and whatever the definition of what Real Nuevo means, that meant that it was supposed to be a big change in downtown. So there was no big change in downtown yet because it's 10 damn years later and they ain't jack shit in downtown still. And so the purpose of this is to say that 10 years later, after Call Me Crazy said downtown should be happening, 10 years from now, it is not happening. Have you been through downtown lately? It's horrible, it's messy, it's dirty, it's clingy, it's nothing, there's nothing to do. It gets worse and worse every day. Construction gets worse and worse every day. And there ain't nothing being done. It's almost 10 years after the Real Nuevo was passed, enacted in law, and there ain't nothing done. But yet in Albuquerque, New Mexico, the city of Albuquerque in the year 1999 passed the same passed the same act to revitalize downtown. Now it's 2007 in Albuquerque. Now they have a movie theater in downtown, which in turn gave a big boost to all the restaurants in downtown. So now downtown Albuquerque is a hustling, bustling place, and they plan to do more major planning. Here in Tucson is 9 years after Real Nuevo was supposed to be was approved. Downtown still looks the same as it did 10 years ago. It's just a shame. I was there yesterday. I haven't been there in a while. It just made me realize how dreary and I know it's been raining and the weather's been kind of foggy but wow, I was in downtown yesterday during rush hour, and it was it was foggy, and it was real cloudy, and the sun wasn't out, and it was cold, and it just looked like downtown Tucson yesterday looked like I was in the Matrix. Like, you know, in the movie The Matrix, you're in that suspended state of mind where you're convinced, along with everybody else, that you're really living a real life, and that's what The Matrix is. When I was sitting in the car yesterday, I was driving yesterday in downtown Tucson, I realized I was in The Matrix because it was the blandest thing ever. And you know what, too? And the worst part about it is that I suffered from an episode of disassociation while driving through downtown. I don't even remember driving through downtown. You ever do that? You ever drive home from work and you don't remember how you got there? I did. It's like every time I drive to downtown, that happens. Like, I don't remember nothing back there. There's nothing. What else I wanted to talk about? That's about it, folks. I'm out of idea. Oh yeah, I do want to talk about something else. There's this movie called The Golden Compass, based on a book by written by a man who supposedly, I'm not sure if this is true or not, I guess it was written by an atheist. But I'm calling The Golden Compass anti-Narnia movie. I'm boycotting the Golden Compass. A friend of mine offered me some free Golden Compass ticket, and I said, no way, I'd rather rot in hell than go see the Golden Compass. And I almost feel like he's going to waiting to go to Best Buy when it comes out on DVD and have a book burning segment on the Golden Compass. Because this is what I read in the paper, that they're telling, basically some of the ideas that the movie's showing that you can tell kids it's okay to not to believe in God. And that's alright. I don't give a fuck if you don't tell your own kid you don't believe in God, but don't tell people at a major, large, mainstream audience to say, oh, don't believe in God, kids, because it's a bad thing and you're gonna get kidnapped. Extremism at its best. Alrighty, what else do I want to talk about? It's the end of the year. There's 2 weeks left, I think, right? 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks? almost 3 weeks, and 2008 is going to be coming up. It should be, hopefully it should be the worst movie summer ever. Then that way local and indie movies will get better play. And I'm only saying that because there's this this writer's strike going on in Hollywood. And I read somewhere that the directors are waiting to go on strike. True? Is that true? Well, the point is, if they run out of people to run and direct and write shit for them in Hollywood, give Pondo Chitlin Productions a call. They'll be more than happy to oblige you on writing new pilots and movies for Hollywood. But if they're paying writers, or like, how much do they get? $85,000 a week, something like that. They get like $100,000 a week, or they get a percentage of the script of how much movie tickets I sold. Give me $25,000 for every sentence I write. Alright, I'm out. This is the Call Me Crazy Show, episode 188, 181. And that's it. I'm out, and we'll do a little fade out.